Hello. Hi, everybody. A very good afternoon to all of you. And thank you for joining us today at the Global Travel Meet by Trawork. We have someone, I hope you all can hear me properly and you can see me and Ekta here, first of all. Okay. So, yes, welcome everybody. And this is the first ever season of Global Travel Meet by Trawork. And we have someone really amazing joining us from Delhi today, Ekta Kapoor. And I would like to give you a small introduction of her before we start our fireside chat today. So, just give me 1 second. Okay, so I'll be introducing Ekta Kapoor with you all. With more than a decade spent in marketing in varied industries such as banking, media, entertainment, and travel, Ekta heads sales and marketing at The Lonely Planet. I'm sure you all must have heard of one of the top magazines, travel magazines of India, which is Lonely Planet. Uh, in her current role, apart from brand marketing, Ekta works closely with tourism boards and offers them solutions towards promoting destinations to inbound as well as domestic travelers. She's also a travel enthusiast and loves exploring the unexplored. So I think with that, I would like to first, ask you, Ekta, how have you been and how has, the whole lockdown been treating you?
Hi, Hina. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the lovely welcome. Thank you so much. I okay. So about your question, how has the lockdown treating me? Oh my God, rearing to go. Now the travel bug is really, really waiting, rearing to go. Yes, like everyone, just waiting for everything just to start normal and then move out. Yeah.
Okay. So when was the last time when you went out traveling anywhere out of the city?
Out of the city, last I went in February. Yeah, February.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, the moment I came back, this entire scenario in India started. Yeah, so I was in Bhutan last February.
Wow. It's great that you could do that at least, before
Yes,
getting
absolutely. And what a stunning place! What a stunning place!
wow, amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Ekta, before we, start our fireside chat, I would like to ask you a very simple question because this is a travel meet and we are going to talk about everything travel. So, what does travel really mean to you?
Oh, very, very close to heart. Travel is happiness. Travel is making memories. uh, when I travel for work, obviously there is work, but at the same time I ensure that I at least experience some amount of local a bit about that particular place. But when I'm traveling at leisure or just for myself, it's completely unwinding. It is completely understanding, sitting with the locals, eating their food, just enjoying the local culture. It is heartwarming. And one of the things that I've lately started doing is staying at the homestays, because that's an experience altogether
It's
different.
amazing. It's
It's
amazing. I've
amazing
heard that.
altogether. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's one thing, definitely worth experiencing. So I've done that in Bhutan. I've done that also in Punjab. So it's a amazing experience. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So, have you been making a bucket list of any places that you would want to go once all this gets over?
Of course, of course. I think, tell me one person who's not doing it, isn't it? So, yeah, my bucket list immediately is going to the hills. Like, totally, totally. I want to land into the hills. Uh, the other one being definitely one of them is going international. I would want to go to London. That is something long pending in my bucket list. What about yours? Do share about your bucket list.
Um, to tell you the truth, very frankly, before all this, happened, I had gone with my friends to a very small, for a very small 2 day trip, and we had a wonderful Himachal trip planned for April. We had our tickets booked and everything, and then suddenly, we had no idea. We were in fact thinking that khatam ho jayega, 1 or 2 months maybe it will all get over and we'll still go. But uh, you can see here we are. So I think yes, any place that I can go, I will just go. So, but obviously something that is that has been there in my bucket list is Paris. I've been seeing a lot of, I don't know why, many films, many things. Every time that I see it, I'm seeing Paris everywhere. So I think that's where I would want to go. But the first chance that I get to go somewhere, I think I will definitely go to Goa first,
Oh,
and then start anything.
fabulous, fabulous. I think our bucket list is just getting, increased day by day, day by day, day by day. And, I'm sure we'll be able to, reach there. Maybe not this year, next year. Yeah.
I hope that day comes very, very soon.
Very soon, very soon. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
with that, we will start our today's session, and our topic for the fireside chat is decoding the world tourism statistics and the impact of the pandemic. And obviously, you being in the publication sector for such a long time, with all the experience of everything that happens in the travel industry from the perspective of a publication media, we would like to know your thoughts, your insights on some of the questions that I will throw at you.
Sure.
So let's start with the first question.
Yeah.
So my first question to you, Ekta, is a lot of travel companies and local businesses have been really impacted due to this pandemic. So what is your insight about it? What highlights would you like to share with us on the same?
Sure. So, Hina, let's be very frank. I would not like to sugarcoat it at all. The crippling effect of the traveling sector, because that has been affected a lot, has created ripples not only for a jet setter but also for a local craft person who actually makes millions of rupees. So the effect is way too much, and as per the industry reports, it's gonna take a good amount of time for the travel industry to come up. Having said that, there is hope when it comes to domestic tourism. There is hope when it comes to, when we are talking about these driving holidays, we are talking about sustainable tourism quite a bit. But at the same time, since travel is in our DNAs, we will move out, if not today, maybe later. One particular thing that I see very, very particularly right now is that since we will be traveling within the confinement of the geography, so which is more to do with domestic tourism, I see a lot of consolidation happening. By which I mean is that a lot of small players will emerge, the local players, which might get into that mode of consolidation. So this is what my primary. But at the same time, as I said, we are raring to go. Travel will limp back, but how soon we don't know. But yes, it is. Yeah.
So, do you have any idea when you say that there is still a long way to go? But do you have any sort of idea as to how much time can this actually take? But I know that the domestic travel and the domestic business, so to say, of travel will start somewhat. People will have their precautions in place and everything that they have to do. But internationally, we used to just buy tickets and we used to plan our Thailand and our Spain and everything. So how
Yeah.
do you what do you think, how much time is this international traveling going to take?
International travel definitely will take a decent amount of time. By decent, I say that 2021 is something that we definitely are looking at. We are not looking at something which is immediate. There are certain things that we also got to take care of the fact that yes, there has to be those COVID-19 negative certification, those kind of things, and not only at the arrival port, it has to be implemented at the departure port, so that the fear, the subsequent ambiguity is I would say reduced. There are a lot of destinations which are opening up, and with a lot of aggressive testing, a lot of aggressive sanitization. So I'm hopeful about future, but not immediately into 2020. That's what I say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So my second question to you is about France.
Yeah, your next destination. Yeah. Yes.
So till now, France has always been the number one tourist destination for everybody. So, do you think that it will regain that spot again? If not, then which country do you think is going to be at the forefront for the travelers?
Okay. So my data, Hina, here says that France is actually at number 2. Number 1 is Thailand, as per 2019 data that I'm talking about. Okay. Having said that, coming to your second part of the question, which destination that I feel will make the headway to the next tourism spot? Actually, one place that actually immediately comes into my mind is Dubai. I'm talking about Dubai because of the way they are positioning their marketing campaigns. That is one side. The other side, as I mentioned, the aggressive sanitization, the aggressive testing, whether it is at malls, whether it is at airports, whether it is at hotels, they are ensuring so that the traveler, when they visit, they are given all the ease, they are given a good experience. Likewise, if there are other destinations which are able to come up with similar kind of measures, I'm sure there will be a change in which will take up as the next best destination. Right now, I would say as Dubai. Yeah.
Dubai. So, in fact, I've been seeing a lot of advertisements, many sort of videos on Facebook and Instagram about, Dubai coming back. And
in fact, I'll have to tell you, the way they have positioned their marketing campaign. In the first one, they say that we will see you soon. And immediately another rendition was that ready for, we are ready when you are ready. That's compelling. That's like, come, we are ready. We're ready to come to you. Yeah, like that.
So I think we both should plan a Dubai trip first, and then we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll take it
Absolutely. Let's do that. Should I pack my bags?
Let's do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes. So the third question coming your way is, what are some of the great things you have covered at Lonely Planet with respect to travel, even though it was quite literally shut?
So I'll.
But I think this sounds like a very animated question. Do you think? What do you have to say about the whole magazine structure right now? Because I've been an avid reader of Lonely Planet, and I think being a journalist myself, I've been a journalist for 11 years, and that magazine is something that was always there in my mind that I wanted to write about, but fortunately or not, unfortunately, I've not been able to do that. But what do you have to say about the whole magazine business, travel magazine business right now? And then maybe we can go to this question.
Okay, so Hina, I'll talk about the travel guides. I'll talk about the main brand Lonely Planet because I represent that. So I'll talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah? So at Lonely Planet, our core values or our core brand value has been first and foremostly about putting the traveler first, right? The second one is the responsible tourism as the force of travel. And third one, we always believe in broadening our horizon. Now, we understood that all the travel and plans of everyone, like you and me, everyone else, all our plans went kaput. But what we did is, our aim was to promote the joys of traveling for our travelers. So having said that, all our digital assets, all our content, all our information to the travelers is about travel news, what's trending. It is also about, for example, giving expert tips about safe road travels. It is about talking about workstation vacation. We actually 2-3 months back, we actually launched Lonely Planet TV, which
Okay.
is something, which is something most of the travelers have been very, very nostalgic about, especially this particular program called Globe Trekker. In case you have seen it, in case you haven't, please go to lonelyplanet.com.
I definitely will.
Yeah, and it is, and especially because it has been made for the temporarily grounded traveler, I'm sure you're gonna just love it. Then
I'm
apart
sure.
apart from that, we also have our content, very, very rich content. When we are talking about our travel guides, we are talking about PDFs that we offer free for the different kind of genre of target audience, especially at this point in time. Then we've got our app. We've also run a very interesting campaign called Travel Kitchen, wherein we have actually asked our travelers to share pictures of their food, interesting local food that they have enjoyed during their travels. So these are the kind of things that we've been doing, and we continue doing it, informing the travelers about what's happening. So since this is at the pulse that the traveler comes first, so this is what we've been doing. Yeah.
Superb. I think everyone who has joined this session should just, after this event, go and check out the kind of things that Lonely Planet is doing. I'm sure you all will be thrilled, even though you cannot travel right now, but you can at least create your bucket list out of the magazine and the
Absolutely.
program that they're making.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now this one might sound a little serious, but let me just ask you this one. So the World Travel and Tourism Council predicts potential jobs impact of COVID-19 to the global travel and tourism sector. Impact to be felt on both white and blue collar jobs, and up to 50 million jobs are at risk globally, representing a reduction in jobs of 12 to 14%. If you want, I can just repeat that question because it was too long. Do you want me to?
I've got the gist, but you can repeat it actually once again. That will be
Okay,
helpful.
I think this will be helpful for others also.
Yeah.
So the World Travel and Tourism Council predicts potential jobs impact of COVID-19 to the global travel and tourism sector. Basically, the jobs are going to be impacted on both white and blue collar jobs, and up to 50 million jobs are at risk globally, representing a reduction in jobs of 12 to 14%. So yes, so we would like to have some inputs from you on this.
Yeah, so Hina, frankly, time and again, what we've seen is that whenever there is an infectious disease, the travel sector is the one which is affected the most. When it comes to the overall impact on the economy. Having said that, before the pandemic, if I talk about the GDP contribution, it has been about, of the travel sector, which has been 10.4% of the global GDP, which is highly significant in terms of overall numbers, contributing to about 319 million jobs. Now, looking at the current scenario, wherein even the Indian tourism has really got affected, trillions of losses, lots of them. But being into travel, totally being into the space for a long time, what I feel that, whatever comes down definitely has to come up. It may not come right now, it may come in some time, but travel will revive. Now, there is another perspective to it, which I wanted to share, is that if we are talking about right now, in the mind of a traveler, maybe in your mind, in my mind, and like us, so many other people, what is there that is affecting us right now in our minds? We are not too sure about the safety. If government is again able to permit the negative COVID-19 certification at the departure level, not at the arrival port, that would help in building up the confidence, because the traveler confidence really needs to come back.
Yes.
Apart from that, there are other consideration. There is a consideration when it comes to vaccine. There is a consideration when it comes to other recovery modes, as to what are the local governments or the international governments doing. Having said that, if this particular phase moves up, when the tourist or the traveler starts traveling again, we 100% feel that number of people actually traveling, the A will increase, then the jobs will also come back. Jobs will also move up. So that's a bit of a regulatory angle that I'm talking about, but I think this is imperative. Yeah.
Okay, I think this will really help people in understanding the whole scenario, and maybe everybody can take their points out from this. Ekta, I think can you see me? I think my video has sort of hung somewhere. Can you
Yes.
see me?
I can't see you. I can just see your picture.
Okay. I'm very sorry, but just give me like 5-10 seconds and I'll just refresh this and I'll come back.
No problem. No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Just 1 second. I'm very sorry for the interruption. It literally felt like the good old days when Doordarshan used to send a sticker that "Rukawat ke liye khed hai." I'm sorry, my laptop just acted up. So yes, so we're back, and thank you very much for such amazing insights. I have 2-3 more questions coming your way, so we'll just quickly start with the next one.
Yeah, sure.
So, Ekta, do you think that our governments of our country and other countries are planning on giving relief on taxation on travel in any way?
Relief on taxation. This is a one particular question that in the last few times I have heard it so many number of times that actually made me think a bit more. Also, our director of Lonely Planet, who is the FICCI board member, he was in fact sharing the other day that taxation collection by the government has been impacted a lot. So which has not which has definitely negatively impacted, because with the shutting of the liquor shops, shutting of the cinema halls, everything. So I really don't see any relief coming immediately.
But maybe sometime later when things get better?
We really don't know. We really don't know. Right?
Okay. All right. Okay. So moving on to my next question and the final one for this session. Have you come across any innovative things that tourism boards or travel and hospitality business are doing to attract tourists? We just talked about Dubai, but uh, globally, if you could give us some insights.
I think that I have been really, really impressed by what our Ministry of Tourism is doing, Government of India is doing. Amazing. They're doing this exciting series of Dekho Apna Desh webinars. And, they give these they showcase the vivid facets of the various states. And it is beautifully done. Apart from that, a lot of local tourisms are doing. For example, I follow Maharashtra tourism quite a bit. The way they have been bringing up the various talks by some various celebrities, talking about interesting itineraries about unexplored places in Maharashtra. Likewise, there are so many other tourism boards doing. Karnataka is talking about caravan tourism. Then internationally, talking about the kind of innovative stuff that the tourism boards are doing. I would like to talk about Hawaiian Islands. Three of the islands. What they've done is they've started something called resort bubbles. So for anybody who's planning into Hawaiian Islands, so they have to be put under quarantine. But during that quarantine period, during that particular resort bubble, as we may call it, you cannot venture outside the property, but you cannot leave the property, but you can be around the property, and then they ensure that you get the best of experience. So likewise, there is Spain, Canary Islands. They are doing quite interesting stuff, wherein they have actually launched these COVID-19 insurance package that they're taking care of the cost and in case you get the disease and all those things. So I think everyone is geared up, and you're just waiting for this particular bit to get over. I think my take in that entire piece would be that if we take care of the safety and manuals and ensure that we follow, we don't go by our traditional ways of addressing travel. We have to be very, very responsible travelers. I think that is something that we have to imbibe in ourselves now. It long gone are the days wherein we used to talk about hotels being aesthetically clean. We have to talk about clinically clean, those kind of things. We have to be responsible travelers, as I mentioned. So that's what I would want to say. Yeah.
I have one question for you. Actually, this just came through the whole discussion. Personally, I have been always a lover of Airbnbs over the hotels, the 5 stars and the 3 stars. Obviously, they come with their set of luxuries, but I have always loved the Airbnb way of traveling. So obviously, now that India is slightly opening up, I just received a message from a friend recently that Goa is open. And people have to basically pre-book the hotels, and then they can travel and they can stay there and all sort of things. What do you think is going to be the way of Airbnbs now? Because all budget travelers, I think most of the people who wanted their own sort of space in a particular budget, in a particular number of people that they want to go to these destinations, they book a nice lovely place and they just go, they cook their own food. So all this has been happening for a long time, and people have always loved these kind of, like you said, homestays.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to be the future of Airbnbs in India?
Okay, as far as we being responsible travelers, we ensure that beforehand we do all our checks of the place. I'm not only talking about Airbnbs, I'm talking about all the places where we will check in, whether it is homestays or whether it is 5-star hotels, or for that matter, Airbnbs. We will have to ensure that all the checks and the points are completely taken care of. Interestingly, there are about 100 touch points for a hotel. So you can just imagine that the way we have to be very, very vigilant about it. So from that point of view, whether you're staying at Airbnbs, whether you're staying at the places where you would actually like to stay, whether on your business travel, that manual, that checklist is something that you as a traveler will have to take care of. Yeah.
So what are the five top checklists that every traveler must? Obviously, there are hundreds of it. Like you said, there are at least 100. But what are the top five checklists that I should be writing or making a note of before heading out when I do?
Okay. First and foremostly, you have to ensure that you are I think I lost her connection.
Sorry,
Hina, are you there?
I think yes, I am back. Yes.
Yeah, super.
Sorry, can you just repeat that for me, please?
Okay, so number one, which I mentioned, was your own safety kit that you have to carry. The second piece would be call the hotel, take care of all the checks and the all the elements that whether the hotel has taken care of. To be a responsible traveler when it comes to again. When we tend to travel, we just go overboard. We just go overboard. We are meeting people. We have to maintain the social distancing. That is an important norm. We cannot deviate from that. We have to again again a very another important point is that we are again talking about when we're eating out, we have to be very, very cautious. Prefer that you do in room dining instead of going out and just then, and if for example you're taking a road trip, then just don't stop anywhere. Don't just make a plan. You have to be extra cautious traveler and also when you check into your hotel, please ensure that you remove the sheet that they have already put. You have to
take your own, maybe.
Like another OCD of another level. Sorry to say that, but it's that. Yeah.
The way we used to, back in the day, in our childhoods, our mothers used to carry our chadars every time. I think that needs to come back, and we all will feel actually safe if we do that, I think.
Of course, we have
nothing
to.
Wrong.
Like I said, no, it's not being aesthetically clean. It has to be clinically clean now.
Yes, clinically clean is the keyword, guys. Questions from my side have ended, and I would like our audience to throw in some questions for us. I think we already have one from Arya Ghotikar. So her question is, Ekta, do you think that this situation will make us all the more aware about cleanliness in our environment and ecosystem, and how? I think we covered some bit of it, but maybe if you want to personally answer that question.
Yes, Arya, thank you for your question. Yes, I think since these last 4 months, 5 months, haven't we actually become a bit more conscious about what we are giving to the society, to our environment? We have in our own way. Going forward, also, I think this particular element of taking care of the environment will go a long way. Whether it comes to sustainable tourism, we will be far more conscious of disturbing the environment. We will be far more conscious that we don't overboard ourselves and use the plastic, etc. I think 100% this particular pandemic has come with a very, very strong learning for all of us. Yeah.
Thank you. Arya also has a message for you. She says that I'm an avid reader of Lonely Planet, and I am a subscriber of it as well. So, thank you, Arya, for your question. I think we have one more from Ranjini Subramanian. She's a travel blogger.
Wow.
And she actually, I think she wants you to repeat some of those interesting tourism board campaigns that you mentioned. Maybe she
Sure,
wants to
sure, sure, sure.
run
Yeah,
through them
yeah.
once more.
Okay, okay, okay. Hi, Ranjini. I talked about when I talked about Ministry of Tourism. They have been running this interesting set of webinars called Dekho Apna Desh. In case you can actually search it on the internet, and you'll be able to see these beautiful videos wherein they have covered about various facets of India. Whether it comes to just Kolkata, whether it comes to Delhi, the entire spectrum of India on different flavors has been covered. And I also talked about Karnataka tourism. They have been talking a lot about caravan tourism. Maharashtra tourism again has a interesting way of putting forward their unexplored destinations. For example, they'll one day come up with an interesting itinerary. Similarly, I also talked about Dubai tourism. I think these are the main tourism boards that I spoke about. Yeah.
So, Ranjani, I guess you have got your answers here. Do we have any more questions? Okay, yes. So we have another one from Gunjan Bhojwani. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Gunjan says that she has worked in the hospitality industry for a few years now, but because of her love for writing, she wants to quit and move to media industry. So how do you think that she could make the
Okay.
shift? Uh,
Okay. I think we'll connect on that.
I think
Maybe
Gunjan,
we can connect on. I Actually, my internet connection now is giving a bit of a problem. Let me just see. Yeah.
maybe you
Are
could
you able
just
to hear me,
refresh the
Hina?
page and come back. It's broken, but maybe once you know what, you can just switch off your Wi-Fi and refresh the page and come back, and we'll wait for you with more questions from the audience.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
guys, we're taking just a few seconds off. Maybe you could just throw in some questions so that I can take them up one after the other. Give us a thumbs up if you're liking this session. Thank you.
Yeah. Is it good now?
Yes, much better.
Perfect.
Welcome back. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a student from IITTM Bhubaneswar. Her name is S. Dasgupta. Can you just spell out your full name, please? Uh, Meanwhile, okay, I'll take her question. So, keeping in mind the post-COVID scenario in travel, luxury travel, or budget travel, which will be more in trend?
Uh, Trend. This is uh, that have been make that
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
person.
I think one thing that you may want to add here would be, even if budget travel is going to be in trend, back in the trend, I think people will have to be more and more conscious about everything that they do, because in budget travel you have backpackers, you have these bike riders, you have a group of friends going in one car. So I think yeah.
As I'm responsible to have
Hmm.
a budget
Hmm.
travel, responsible
Okay, so this question had come to us from I'll just read out her names, Santashri Dasgupta. So she asked you this question. Thank you so much, Santashri. So now we have a question from uh, Usha. She says, "How do we connect with LPMI? Have few stories on Dekho Apna Desh." Okay, I think you can answer this offline. You can connect with Usha. You can connect with Ekta offline and have this sort of discussion.
I'll connect you with the team, with the magazine team for that. Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
So now we have Ekta Katti. She has a question for
I,
you, Ekta. She says, first of all, she says it was lovely and informative chat show. And then she wants to know, can you tell me the kind of precautions one should take while traveling abroad post-COVID? I think more or less the same things that we need to keep in mind for any kind of travel. But if
kind
you
of
want to add anything, maybe.
it's like anything that you have to be extra cautious about everything. Ensure that all your tests are done. Ensure that your safety and safety manuals are checks and are done. Wherever you are traveling in the international destinations, you have to ensure that the destination has declared them as safe zones. You have to ensure that as well. In the coming times, we are hoping that everything will be okay when all of us will be able to travel without any hesitation. But if you're planning to travel right now, you have to ensure that those safety elements are taken care of. Yeah.
I think Ekta, you should just wait it out for a while and then plan the trip.
Yeah, our Dubai trip is going to take some time now.
Yes. Okay. So I have the next question from Aman Raj. He's a student from Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, Gwalior. Wow. Okay. So Aman asks, as Lonely Planet has a lot of information for tourists to enhance their knowledge, do you think that it can add more about the rural areas of India and their significances in order to play a major role in promoting rural tourism? I think that's a nice question.
That's a
Very
very
nice
nice
question.
question. That's a very nice question, Aman. We will. I'll discuss it with my editorial and my complete team, which works on the complete content planning. Thank you so much.
But have you guys? I think you have covered many, remote places of across the world. Maybe you could just throw in some of the pointers on, the kind of remote places in India that can come back into the picture, or maybe come into the picture now. Now that we are talking about budget traveling and
Yeah, yeah,
everything,
yeah, yeah.
maybe
There is
some
a
pointers.
Yeah, there are some pointers. In fact, the session previous to our session was a very interesting one, which had Lakshmi Sharad and a couple of
Mm,
other
mm,
people. They were also talking about the fact that how local bodies should get together and ensure that the safety norms are taken care of, and there is not too much of a over tourism, because when people are raring to go, they might just go to those places which are unexplored, which are into the rural side of the country. But yeah, so you have a point. This is a relevant thing. Yeah,
mm.
totally.
Okay, so I think a little bit of your question has been answered there. I think you can go, maybe Ekta will come back with a bigger insight into that question of yours.
Yeah.
We have one more question coming from Arya. She says, do you have any idea of the experiential local tourism?
Experiential local tourism. Yeah, there are experiential local tourism when it comes to a lot of yeah. So a lot of tourism boats I'll talk about.
Hmm.
They take you inside of their unexplored places.
Hmm.
I will just give you an example of my last trip to Madhya Pradesh, for example. Uh, I actually experienced a place called Bimbetka, a place called, you must have heard about Bimbetka Caves. Yeah.
Bhimbetka
So
Caves. Okay.
I experienced places like, you know, uh, this Panchmari
Yes.
in a different way, which I could never ever think of. When I read about it, and the way the local experience that I had, it was completely experiential. Taking care of the food, taking care of the local experiences which have not been talked about. It was an experiential travel that I'm talking about. Yeah. So yeah, there are initiatives, Arya, that have now been taken by a lot of tourism boards to take you through a lot of experiential travel. It is not restricted to, okay, fine, you go there, we'll show you one or two or three things. That's about it. It's not that. There is a definite edge that people are giving now. Yeah.
And also, Arya, if you want to know more about experiential travel, I think, our curator of this event, Vandita Purohit, she would have lots of insights for you, because she's one crazy traveler, and always after something, interesting that can be experienced in the travel zone. Maybe you can go backstage after the session and ask her a couple of questions. And obviously, about these experiential local tourism, you will get to know a lot in the upcoming stories that come in Lonely Planet. Am I right, Ekta?
Absolutely. We keep on talking about experiential local travel. So please do visit our website. So you'll be able to see a lot of such stories. Yeah.
I have a question next coming up from Samarika Isar. She's a manager of Amber Tours. She says, do you think people should travel to remote areas keeping in mind the lack of primary health care at many places? Even a single action of carelessness can spread the virus there, and the places might not be equipped with dealing to such situations. Yes, that's a very, very important question. And what do you have to say about this? Yeah.
Okay, so I lost the question. I was just able to hear till Can you repeat the question
Yes,
again?
yes, sure. So, do you think people should travel to remote areas, keeping in mind the lack of primary health care at many places? Even a single action of carelessness can spread the virus there, and the places might not be equipped with dealing to such situations.
It's 100% correct question, Samarika, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Samarika. Samarika, very, very relevant, because one act of carelessness will totally, totally ruin it. So it is important that we take care of our set of measures. We have to ensure that, again, if that place does not have simple healthcare facilities, we have to refrain ourselves for now. We cannot be going all out there. Again, as I said, we have to take care of whether that particular place has the relevant healthcare facilities. It has been declared safe. Even it was safe, but any carelessness from our side can ruin it.
Yes, absolutely. So, like, throughout this session, Ekta has been stressing on the point that we all have to be responsible travelers in the first place, and then we can actually avoid a lot of problems for ourselves and for others. So, I think that is the key point that everyone should take away from the whole event, so to say. Actually, so do we have any more questions? Do we have any more questions? Uh, Maybe we will just give a couple of seconds for any more questions if the audiences have, or maybe then we will end this session with a message that you would want to give everybody at the end. So let's just take 15 more seconds here. Guys,
Okay,
come on, ask questions. Ekta, you were saying something?
Yes. Actually, I'm really sorry, guys, but my internet has been playing up, so I was not able to hear your last bit, Hina. Sorry. I think you're waiting for people to come with questions, correct?
Yes. I'm waiting for people to come back with questions, and we have a question here. So, this question comes from Ashwini Sharma, vocational trainer. He is a vocational trainer in a postgraduate college. So he asks, recent pandemic major shock is what nature is bouncing back with overloading and infrastructure development. And now we are entering in rural and offbeat destination. Is it okay? Let me just, for my own understanding, ask that question once again. Major shock is what nature is bouncing back with overloading and infrastructure development. I think, if I'm not wrong, he's saying that the recent environmental, things that have been happening, the storms and everything, it has put a lot of load on the infrastructure and the development of many of the destinations. And again, we are entering into rural and offbeat destinations. So is it a good thing to do right now or not? I think this is something that Mr. Ashwini wants to ask.
So Ashwini, the thing is that your point, your concern is very, very valid. But at the same time, if you notice that when we're talking about unexplored places or remote areas, we are also talking about sustainable tourism. We are talking about homestays. We are not talking about building skyscrapers, yeah, big buildings. If we do that, that is affecting the infrastructure. We are talking about more towards the ecotourism, more towards living in a more I'm sorry, it's a repeated word in today's session, but we are talking about traveling responsibly. We are talking about sustainable tourism. So from that point in time, we are not saying that moving towards remote areas will create another pressure. Rather, it will bring in more revenues when it comes to when the tourism industry comes up. It will give impetus to the local craftsmen or the people belonging to that remote area, because they will get the income out of it, which they have not been. So it's like supporting a particular sector. Hope it answers your question.
Ashwini, hope we have answered your question. If yes, kindly just send us a thumbs up. And are there any more questions? I guess we'll just wait for 10 more seconds, and I think if we get any question, that's fine, or else we will end this session. And maybe you could think of the last message for our audience and me and everybody here that you would want to share. So
sure.
Okay, I think we have one more question from Aman Raj. He says, ma'am, as the title of the session is related to the world tourism statistics and the impact of pandemic on tourism, how do you look forward to this statistic in upcoming future post-COVID? That is quite a statistical question coming from Aman.
I just lost the question.
Okay, let me ask you once again. So he asks you, as the title of this session is related to world tourism statistics and the impact of pandemic on tourism, how do you look forward to this statistics in upcoming future post-COVID? Basically, are the statistics going to change, and what do you think about
statistics? If you look at it, that in this year itself, after March, actually, Aman, about 850 million to about 1.1 billion world fewer international arrivals have happened. If I'm talking about this particular phase, March onwards. And there has been if I talk about only in 2021, that we are looking at a bit of expectation on the rise of the travel. Right now, yes, it has been majorly affected. About 60 to 80% of the international travel, overall travel, has been affected. In fact, I was reading, just giving you an example of Spain, about 97% of their statistics as compared to last year have gone down in terms of tourist arrivals. So you can always you can anyway see that the effect of the pandemic globally has been very, very bad. But talking about something which was contributing to in the order of 10.4% of the entire global GDP is going down the line. There will be a contraction of the level of 3%. So we can just see that I think let's just look at hopeful numbers in the next year. Yeah.
So I think that that answers your query, Aman. We are ready to take one last question if anyone has. So guys, just be very quick and prompt. Last question, guys. So meanwhile, maybe Ekta, you can tell us what do you think about this whole experience, coming on a virtual event,
That's become a part of our life, isn't it? Every
Yes,
day we are
yes,
taking care of all the webinars, etc.
yes.
It's a new way of interacting with everyone. Well, it has been a amazing experience. Especially talking to you, Vandita, everyone.
Thank you.
And along with that, amazing set of people, Kushal, and. I think this is a great forum that you have. This is a maiden event that you've planned, and you've done it at the right time, wherein the world is looking at the number, the kind of information that you have brought in together through, people from the various areas of travel. So I think kudos to you. You guys have done a great, great, great job. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
yeah,
we have had a really, really amazing time having you on board here. And this is, I would say, this is one of my first such kind of an event. Thanks to Airmeet, I think this is a very interesting way of getting together. While we cannot see the real event, but the reel has done a great job.
Done a great job. Absolutely. I think it's a way of life now for some time at least. But I think all of us have gotten used to it, and it's quite good. It keeps us moving on. Yeah.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. I think again coming back to my last few bits that you were talking about.
Yes. Yes.
When you were actually talking about this, Hina, that initially you had made plans that you would be traveling in April or May. Frankly, my travels were also lined up till June, July, but nothing happened. Initially, there was always this thing that ho jayega, ho jayega, ho jayega. I totally get it. I think now we've reached that stage wherein that level of positivity has come inside. एक दिन तो जरूर होगा. अभी नहीं होगा, एक दिन तो जरूर होगा. All of us have got into that mode now. Yeah, exactly. So
we human beings, I think, we are able to crack any kind of situation. Remember that day when the lockdown was announced and everyone was so scared. People didn't know what to do, how to react. I think for me, the first 1 week or 2 weeks, I was absolutely shocked as to, I can't go out of my house. Now what is this? And then from there, we started, keeping our sanitizers, wearing our masks. We started going out to buy veggies, and then dhire things are moving.
Yeah,
so I think yes, everything maybe happens for a reason, and this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. It is. Yeah. There's a deep down. There's huge learning. Haven't we learned so many other things during this particular phase, which we never even thought that we would be doing? So, likewise, my fellow travelers, my urge would be: start making plans for your travel. Start learning new language. Start learning something new that you would want to do. Maybe just cooking right now, maybe just doing something which you've not done. I think that will add on to your next physical travel trip, that's for sure.
So on that note, everybody, thank you for being here today, and thank you for being such amazing audience, and thank you once again, Ekta, for joining us, for taking out the time and talking to us. And we surely will we'll surely plan another big event, and I really hope that it will be the real one, next time.
Absolutely.
And we
Looking
could
forward.
sit next to each other. And thank you so much. So yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.